So I want to kick this last step in part one off with an observation. Have you ever noticed that sometimes one difficult moment can turn into like an entire day of suffering? Like you're going along, you're whistling, you're having a good day, and then something happens and it's like the rest of the day is over and you cannot recuperate. Like a single comment from someone just replays in your mind for hours, or like one mistake at work becomes a week of beating yourself up with self-criticism. Or heaven forbid an awkward conversation happens and then you got to have that rolling around in your brain being like, wow, am I okay? That original moment hurts. But then something happens next after that. One of my favorite metaphors is from Buddhism, and you don't have to be Buddhist to find this really helpful. You imagine you're walking through the woods and you get hit by an arrow. It hurts, right? I've never been shot by an arrow before. I imagine it hurts. But again, this is the metaphor, so just stay with me. So you get hit by the arrow and it hurts, and it causes real pain, right? So imagine then, instead of like dealing with the arrow, like taking it out, which is, go to the elders and make sure you have someone who knows it. Again, this is a metaphor. I am overthinking. Instead of taking the arrow out, tending to the wound and dealing with it, imagine if you were to pick up another arrow and shoot it at yourself. That would be ridiculous, right? The first arrow represents the inevitable pain of life. Life happens, things happen, things that are totally outside of our control. No one can ever avoid pain entirely. But the second arrow is what happens as a result of the suffering that we unintentionally add afterwards. I did not cancel the airdrop. How rude. How dare you, airdrop? No. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. See? We're dealing with dysregulation in real time here, people. The first arrow is that technology sucks, okay? The second arrow is how I choose to handle it. Am I gonna like lose my mind? I've done that before. I have many times done that before. I'm not proud of it, but I have lost my shit before while filming videos about not losing your shit. That's happened. Yeah. But it's not going to happen now. I'm just going to keep on going. All right? We're going to go back to the first and second arrow of suffering here. Once I learned this metaphor, it really helped me to notice the difference between different kinds of suffering, right? So, what are our first arrows of suffering? First arrows are the parts of life we don't get to choose. Airdrops failing, for example, or someone rejects you, the end of a relationship, you don't get a promotion that you want, maybe someone misunderstands you, which for me, that's probably the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Maybe I shouldn't tell you guys that. Now you can really hurt me in the comments section. It's fine. I'm learning how to regulate through that too. You might make a mistake of any kind, someone disappoints you, someone dies. We all deal with grief. We get sick, we lose our health, we lose some part of ourselves. That is the inevitable suffering of life that is coming our way. It is unavoidable. Those first arrows are going to happen. The pain of the first arrow isn't necessarily the problem. It is something we have to deal with, but it does not cause most of our suffering. What causes most of our suffering, and the part of our suffering that is entirely optional, is the second arrow. And it is what happens after the first arrow. And that's when we come to conclusions like, well, technology hates me. It does. It really does hate me. We say things like, I'll always be alone, or like, I'm a freaking idiot. Like, I can't believe I did that. Cringe means I'm stupid. We say all of these things to ourselves. Like, I didn't get that promotion because of that. Like, maybe I ate weird in front of everyone last week? Did I have something on my face? They must hate me. Or, I can't handle this. This is too much for me. We start to launch into resistance of whatever that first arrow is. The second arrow is almost always some form of resistance or blame regarding the first arrow. We're assigning meaning to what just happened. But when we're doing that from a place of pain, we're only making things worse. We're adding insult to injury. Our brain, again, thinks it's helping. If I just analyze this enough, I won't get hurt again. The second arrow leads to overthinking and staying in that place of stress, even though it's not happening right now. And you know what the funny thing about the brain is? It doesn't know or care if you're thinking the stressful thought or if the stressful thing is actually happening. It doesn't care. It's going to dump the same stress chemicals throughout your body if you're just thinking about it as it will if it's actually happening. And this is what puts us in chronic survival mode, where we have cortisol pulsating throughout our whole body, putting stress on our system. It's aging us. It's causing harm to our internal organs, and it's causing us to be chronically dysregulated when we sit in that overthinking pattern. We could have self-judgment. That's another second arrow. I suck. Everyone hates me. I can't believe this is happening to me. I need to do better all the time. I have to be perfect all the time. There's no room for failure. Second arrow. Our protective strategies often become like second arrow production constantly. We're just shooting. Perfectionism, overthinking, anxiety, shutdown, avoidance. All of these things are just second arrows. And the goal isn't to stop pain, because remember, life includes pain. And that's not fun, but it's true, okay? Like, we have to learn to adapt to this. Pain is part of life. Grief, we're all going to experience it. Loss, fear, conflict. All of those things are going to happen. They're a part of human. They're part of human. They're a part of being human, okay? The human experience involves pain. That's just part of life. But suffering, the suffering that we pile on as a result of that pain, is optional. That suffering is shaped by how we metabolize pain. How do we tend to that pain? What do we tell ourselves about it afterwards? And then how do we react to it, which often creates even more suffering in our lives and the lives of other people. Now, there's plenty of suffering from things that happen to us outside of our control. There's all kinds of trauma, oppression, illness, circumstances that are totally outside of our control. I'm not saying all pain is our fault at all. I'm saying pain is inevitable. But so much of our suffering is prolonged by how we respond to it. Not all suffering, but a lot of it. When we recognize that we're unknowingly adding to our suffering, then we can come to it with compassion and we can gradually change the ways that we're adding to our suffering. And that's where this whole course is headed eventually. Here's where awareness becomes so powerful. Because you can't exactly stop shooting arrows that you don't even know you're holding, right? So if you don't realize that your overthinking is actually hurting you, if you don't realize springing into this anxiety mode or shutdown mode is actually causing you harm, then why would you stop doing any of it? And how would you even know how? And before you can use any of the skills and strategies that we're going to work on in this course, you have to have that moment of awareness where you notice, oh, I'm doing that thing again. Whatever that thing is for you, whatever your adaptation is that may have served you at one point but is actually keeping you stuck now, you have to notice when you're using it in real time. Everything we do in this course has application in real time. Nothing is just talking about what to do or thinking about what to do or creating a plan for it. It's all about the doing of it in your life. Bringing awareness to your life is that moment of, oh, I'm shooting a second arrow, aren't I? Ooh, ooh, okay, 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 let's do something different this time. That moment of awareness interrupts a cycle and creates options. And that changes everything when you have options. And that's what we're about to start learning next. Cat hair. Lovely. I want to leave you with something that I hope you'll remember long after this course is over. We cannot stop the first arrow of pain. Life will include grief, loss, disappointment, conflict, uncertainty, negativity happens. It is a function of all of us being on this planet with different needs, different desires, different intentions. And beyond that, we're all born, we live, we have sickness, and we die. It's just part of life, and that is very painful. But we can learn to stop shooting the second arrow, which creates so much suffering that is completely unnecessary. We can learn to meet ourselves with curiosity and compassion instead of judgment and criticism. We can learn to accept the pain of the moment and work towards doing something that supports that pain, that helps us process through that pain and tend to it in ways that don't prolong our suffering or create new suffering. And once you incorporate this into your daily practice, this knowing about the first and second arrow of suffering, then you're going to discover that that one shift alone changes far more than you might imagine.